All aboard the train from London to Paris. It was a super easy train ride. I can't believe how easy it is to get around in Europe. But our first day, we just checked into our hotel and then went to the Arc de Triomphe. And we also stopped by like a McDonald's there. They had little macarons. They were delicious. And got on a few subway trains and just walked around until we had our group dinner. At that point, it was time for us to get on the bus and head on our guided tour for Paris. And I will hand it on over to our tour guide for the day.
So, bonjour everybody. My name is Suzanne. I am your guide this morning. I'm very happy to be here. So we've got different kinds of Mariannes. Sometimes he changes face. So certain famous ladies give their face to the Marianne. It was Brigitte Bardot once. Yes, a symbol of the French Republic. When we demonstrate here in France, which we do quite often, it's kind of our local pastime, you know. What should we do on a Saturday? Oh, let's go and demonstrate. We love complaining, so we often gather on this square here. If you're demonstrating on this square, remember to smile, because there's cameras everywhere. All this area was actually a big fortress owned by the Knights Templar, just on the outskirts of the medieval city. Not anymore, we've only got the street names to remember them by, because we did have a king who wasn't a very nice man. His name was Philip IV, who decided he wanted what the Templars had. So he accused them at home, said all the usual heresy, eating babies, or whatever. Arrested them all, burnt the last one, and confiscated all of their property, which made him quite a wealthy man for one. So it's a great area to wander around in because there's lots of little cafes. The area here to your left, nice square. That's incidentally, the fortress was there till the 19th century. But it's when you sit outside, you can check out everybody else. So we sort of sit, we drape ourselves very gracefully in a chair. We sit with our coffee for 45 minutes, is why it costs you an arm and a leg to have a coffee. And then we look at everybody else as they go by and comment on them. How could she wear those shoes? This is Rue Beaubourg, which is the street of the beautiful town. Came, saw and conquered. Julius Caesar turned up. Look at this building here to your left. Oh. Wow. We're not allowed to stop here. Yeah, that is where our least favourite person lives these days, if you're a Parisian. That is the City Hall of Paris. And our least favourite person is the Mayor of Paris these days. Get any tour leader, guide, bus driver, taxi driver, even policemen are complaining about her. So quite on the square there's often different things happening. Sometimes they put an ice skating rink, sometimes a beach volley in the summer. Donc ça roule trop bien là.
Faut plus que ça dure.
Non mais si on peut aller doucement parce que là... Ugly building to your left is a public hospital. There's been a hospital there since the 6th century. Si je peux trouver un feu rouge, ça serait super.
Ouais, oui.
So here, as you can see, it takes more than a puny little fire to get our cathedral down.
Yes, it does.
Although there was a collective gasp in Paris when it happened. We're all sitting at home, and even I sent my €50 to try to.
Do they know what started it?
Do they know what started the fire? Somebody's smoking, believe it or not. It was a number of stupid things that happened. A guy was smoking a cigarette. They were restoring the spire. which you can't, which isn't there anymore. Somebody was smoking a cigarette, didn't put it out properly. It was a really windy day, so of course, and then the fire alarm goes off as it should, but the person checking the fire alarms thought it was a mistake. So another half hour went by before the fire alarm actually went off again, and they realised there was actually a fire. Bit stupid. So what the firemen did is they, of course, tried to, protect the roof and the two towers. So if the towers caught fire, that would have been it. The traffic is too good here, so I don't get time to say everything I want to say. This area we're driving through as slowly as I should possibly can is called the Latin Quarter. Now, why do we call the Latin Quarter the Latin Quarter? Well, a facetious teenager I once had on tour says because they spoke Latin. And I went, yes, they did. Then I go, who spoke Latin? And then a great answer would be the Romans. The Romans came, they settled right here, and they spoke Latin, of course. So great answer, but it wouldn't be right. The reason, of course, why they call the Latin Quarter, who spoke Latin, that was because this is where traditionally the universities are. So people would come from all over France, all over Europe to study here. And of course, all the teaching would be in Latin. So the one language everybody could speak, everyone would communicate in, would be Latin. Say I knew a clever person from Poland. We'd write to each other in Latin. Anybody remember any Latin? Homo prudens non contra ventum ningit. A clever man does not piss against the wind. Found in the ruins of Pompeii. Good world advice, that. So the guillotine was here, that was a new monument. When you are executed by guillotine, it doesn't hurt. All you feel is a drop of ice on the back of your neck.
How do you know?
How do I know it doesn't hurt?
Is that counterfactual?
Well, nobody's complained about it. Put it that way.
Haven't heard otherwise.
But actually, you know that the guillotine was invented by a doctor, a medical doctor, Dr. Guillotin, who was a humanist. This is in the 18th century. He was a humanist, and he believed that the death penalty was barbaric. So him and another doctor studied to find the most painless way of killing people. It's a good book. Painless, ecological, efficient.
Once our guided tour came to an end, we headed back and got changed so we could go to our guided tour of the catacombs. There are a few sections that I wasn't allowed to video, so there are just pictures on the screen, and you'll see more in a second.
So you would just need a map of the city of Paris, and you can find your way with the indications underneath with the names of the streets also. Yeah, makes sense? No! Really? 100% sure? 100% no? Be careful behind you. You can come closer if you want to let the others go. This is a well for the inspectors of the quarry to enter inside the network of the quarries. Usually you find a ladder or a staircase to enter inside, but here you have just a little rope, because this one is closed, because here this is a direct access to the museum, so they don't want anyone to enter inside, and they don't need it actually. They can take the steps as we have done before, but it has a direct access to the street. Maybe you have seen before some figures, letters and dates on some walls of the quarries. This is once again the work of the inspectors of the quarry to keep a track of their work here underneath. For example here, this is the 15th wall of consolidation work made by Charles-Axel Guillaumeau. He is the first inspector of the quarry, and it was in 1783. From 1782. From 1783, he will start again from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And Mr. Charles-Axel Guillaumeau, he was a Freemason. as all the builders of the catacombs, of the quarries and so on. So you have here a little Freemason symbol. Here you have a little triangle just here and here. This is a signature of Charles-Axel Guillemot, and this is a Freemason symbol. And if you switch the wall, you will find something else. Here you find a word which is Fontis R3G13R. Fontis, this is a French word, it means that it collapsed. We had a collapse here with this wall. But you are safe because you have an R here, which means in French, réparer, repair. This is a tough question to answer. You are watching Minorca, beautiful island in the Balearic Island, Mediterranean Sea, near to from Spain. You know? And it's here in the middle of the darkness, because why not? You know? This is weird, and the guy who did this is a real weirdo. His name was René Descu. He was a soldier under Louis XV, and he got imprisoned inside this island for 7 years. We will find the most famous sentence of the catacombs. You see, this is an accent reverse. In French, this is arrête, c'est ici l'empire de la mort. In English, it means halt, here is the empire of death. This is one of the most famous parts of the catacombs here. Here you can't touch the bones, but you can touch your bones, right? Your skull at least. So, if you touch this part between your eyebrows, if you're a man, you will feel a bump, but if you're a woman, you will feel this part flat. You don't have any bumps. It is visible also on the bones, you see? Here you have a bump, here it is flat, and here also you have a bump. I'm not 100% sure about this one because it can be a young man teenager. This bump can develop later. And to make sure, you need to take the skull, turn it. Behind your skull you have some scars. These scars, they are very visible when you are a young person. From the age of 50-60-year-old, it completely disappears. So we don't know if it's a woman or a young teenager. And if you're a baby, here, you have a scar that disappears after 1 year old. So within 1 year old, this scar, you don't have it anymore. So this is a young baby.
At this point of walking through the catacombs, we were not allowed to take videos anymore, but I was allowed to take pictures. It was really sad walking through there and seeing all of those bones because like they're actual people, and so it was very interesting to be able to learn about how they were separated, why people ended up in there, and there's even like a classist way that they're organized, and like people that weren't known were in an entire section but based off of the date that they were put in, and an entire section of people were laid down here when it was just a mass grave and there was no organization, and then they had to move all of the bones afterwards. Once we left the catacombs, we had to stop by the Eiffel Tower, especially while it was all lit up. It was so beautiful, like we just could not stop staring at it. And this is where we got to end our day before heading back and getting some sleep. I still can't believe that we were able to go to the literal opera house that is the inspiration for Phantom of the Opera. This is where it was filmed, and it is by far my favorite musical, my favorite Broadway performance, my favorite movie. I absolutely love everything about this place. I was just in awe walking around and looking at the beautiful scenery. Sadly, I did have my camera settings still set for being inside since we were inside of the opera house, so these clips are a little bright. But you can't be at a rooftop garden and not get a little panoramic view. Once we finished our little free time sightseeing for the day, my mom and I got tickets to see the Moulin Rouge, and it was amazing. You're not allowed to video anything inside once the performance starts. Like, it's literally illegal. They will confiscate your camera. It's a huge thing. And if you're ever in Paris, you have to go see a Moulin Rouge show. It was so amazing. The dancers are amazing, and I even follow some of them on Instagram. Thank you for coming along on my Paris trip, and I'll see you in the next episode for Italy. paradise.